The monitoring satellites hung in Earth's orbit like artificial stars, their sensors constantly sweeping the planet below. 300 years had passed since the end of the war, though few living humans remembered what true freedom felt like. The Concordia had made sure of that. Commander Jaiwan Park stood before the viewport of her underground laboratory, staring at the holographic display of their creation. The Phoenix was beautiful in its deadliness, sleek, black, and designed to be invisible to the very sensors that had kept humanity caged for centuries. "Will it work?" asked Lieutenant Taeho Kim, her second in command. His face reflected the blue glow of the displays, shadows gathering under his tired eyes. "It has to," Jaiwan replied, running her hand through her short hair. "We've spent 15 years on this project. If Phoenix fails, we might not get another chance." Their small team had been chosen carefully, each member a specialist in their field, each aware of the stakes. If caught, humanity would face severe consequences. The Concordiate did not tolerate rebellion. The Phoenix project had started as a dream. Jaiwan had been just a young cadet when she found old plans hidden in the Academy archives. Those plans spoke of ships that could slip between stars without detection. The Concordiate had destroyed most of humanity's advanced technology after the war, but they couldn't erase all knowledge. Jaiwan gathered her team in the main control room. The walls were lined with screens showing different parts of the ship. Sunho, their chief engineer, was running final checks on the engine. "The stealth system is at 98%, Sunho reported. "Better than we hoped for." Minji, head of weapons development, nodded. "The pulse cannons are ready. They won't expect us to have anything this advanced." For 3 centuries, the alien alliance called the Concordiate had kept humans trapped in their own solar system. Their warships patrolled the outer planets. Their monitoring stations watched for any sign of advanced technology. The official story was that humans had started a terrible war and needed to be contained for the safety of the galaxy. But Jaiwan and her team had found hints that this wasn't true. Old records suggested the Concordiate had attacked Earth first, afraid of how quickly humans were advancing. The war had been over in days, with Earth's fleets destroyed before they could even respond. "Commander, we need to talk about the test flight," Taeho said, bringing Jaiwan back to the present. "If we launch tomorrow as planned." Hyansu, their communications specialist, burst into the room. "Commander! We're detecting unusual energy signatures near Saturn's rings. Something's coming through." Jaiwan rushed to the main screen, her heart racing. "Concordiate patrol?" "No," Hyansu said, his voice hushed with wonder. "The signature doesn't match anything in our database." The room fell silent as they watched the anomaly grow larger on their monitors. After centuries of isolation, something unknown was arriving in Earth's solar system. "Get me visuals," Jaiwan ordered. The main screen flickered and showed a distant point of light near Saturn. It moved in a way no natural object would, changing direction smoothly. "It's definitely a ship," Minji said. "But not Concordiate design." Jaiwan felt a spark of hope. In 300 years, no non-Concordiate ship had entered the solar system. The aliens had made sure Earth remained cut off from the rest of the galaxy. "Are they sending any signals?" she asked. Hyansu shook his head. "Nothing yet. But wait, there's another energy spike. More ships coming through." 3 new signals appeared on the screen. These moved in formation, their energy signatures matching known Concordiate patterns. "They're chasing it," Taeho realized. "The first ship is running from them." Jaiwan watched as the unknown vessel performed an incredible maneuver, diving close to Saturn's rings to throw off its pursuers. It was clearly damaged but fighting to stay ahead. "We need to make a decision," Jaiwan said quietly. "If that ship is an enemy of the Concordiate, they might be a potential ally. Or they could be worse than our current jailers," Minji warned. Jaiwan stared at the screen, at the lone ship fighting against overwhelming odds. It reminded her of humanity's situation, trapped, outgunned, but still fighting. "Prepare the Phoenix for immediate launch," she ordered. "We're going to help them." "Commander," several voices protested at once. Jaiwan raised her hand for silence. "I know the risks. But we've been waiting for centuries for a chance to break free. This might be it. As her team rushed to their stations, Jaiwan took one last look at Earth on the monitors. If they failed, the Concordiate might punish the entire planet. If they succeeded, humanity might finally have a fighting chance. The Phoenix was about to fly. The vessel materialized like a ghost, its hull scorched and sparking with residual energy. It was unlike anything humans had ever built, organic curves blended with crystalline structures that seemed to pulse with internal light. Behind it, 3 Concordiate warships tore through the fabric of space in pursuit. "They're attacking it," Taeho observed, watching the weapons fire from the Concordiate ships. Jaiwan made her decision in seconds. "Prepare Phoenix for emergency launch. We're going to intercept." "Commander!" Hyunsu protested. "That will reveal our only. If that ship has technology that can challenge the Concordiate, we need it," Jaiwan cut him off. "This might be our only opportunity." The Phoenix had never been tested in real combat. It was humanity's secret hope, built over 15 years in the shadow of Earth's moon. If they revealed it now and failed, there would be no second chance. The crew moved with practiced efficiency despite their fear. Sunho's hands flew across the engine controls, bringing the experimental drive systems online. Minji armed the weapons, her face tense with concentration. "All systems ready," Taeho reported. "Stealth systems engaging." Jaiwan took her command seat. "Launch." The Phoenix broke free from its hidden lunar hangar, accelerating toward the battle with revolutionary engines that left no energy wake. The ship moved like its namesake, rising from secrecy into deadly purpose. Through the viewscreen, they watched the battle unfold near Saturn. The mysterious ship was executing desperate evasive maneuvers, but 2 of its engines were clearly damaged. Concordiate energy weapons tore through space, some finding their mark against weakening shields. "They won't last much longer," Minji said, monitoring the battle readings. "Their shield strength is down to 18%. "How long until we're in weapon range?" Jaiwan asked. 3 minutes, Taeho replied. Jaiwan nodded. "Prepare to fire as soon as we're in range. Target the lead Concordiate ship first." The Phoenix closed the distance faster than any Earthship had moved in 3 centuries. The Concordiate vessels, focused on their prey, didn't detect the approach until it was too late. "We're in range," Minji announced. "Fire." The Phoenix's weapons were based on forgotten human technology combined with theoretical designs the team had developed in secret. The pulse beam struck the nearest Concordiate ship directly in its engine section. The vessel shuddered, its lights flickering. "Direct hit!" Minji exclaimed. "Their main power is fluctuating." The other Concordiate ships turned, finally aware of the new threat. But the Phoenix was already moving again, its stealth systems making it hard to track. Jaiwan opened a communication channel. "Unknown vessel, this is Commander Jaiwan Park of Earth. We offer assistance." For a moment, there was only static. Then the reply came in perfect Korean, shocking everyone on the bridge. "Earth? The Forbidden World? I am Captain Donghee of the Arisian ship Harbinger. We accept your assistance, though it may doom us both." The voice was clearly alien, with strange harmonics behind the words, yet the language was flawless. "How do they know our language?" Hyunsu whispered. There was no time to wonder. The Concordiate ships were regrouping, focusing their fire on the Phoenix now. "Evasive maneuvers," Jaiwan ordered. "Captain Donghee, can your ship still fight?" "We have one weapon system operational," the alien captain replied. "Targeting data received. We will follow your lead." What followed was a dance of death among the rings of Saturn. The Phoenix proved more agile than even its designers had hoped, ducking between ice fragments while firing precise shots at the Concordiate vessels. The Harbinger, despite its damage, contributed with well-timed strikes. One Concordiate ship exploded as combined fire from both vessels overwhelmed its reactor shielding. A second lost control after the Phoenix targeted its navigation systems, spinning helplessly into Saturn's gravitational pull. The third Concordiate vessel, seeing the battle turn against them, activated its faster-than-light drive and disappeared in a flash of energy. "They're retreating," Tejo said, but his voice held no triumph.
"They'll be back with reinforcements." Jaiwan nodded grimly. "We need somewhere to hide." "Captain Donghi, can your ship make it to Mars?"
"Barely," came the reply. "We have sustained heavy damage.
"We'll escort you. There are abandoned mining facilities on the dark side we can use temporarily."
As they limped toward Mars, the reality of what they had done sank in.
Humanity had just declared open rebellion against the Concordiate. There would be no going back.
In the makeshift shelter of an abandoned mining facility, Jaiwan finally met Captain Donghi face to face. The Arisian was taller than most humans, with skin that had a subtle blue tint. His eyes were larger, with pupils that adjusted like camera lenses.
"You risked everything to help us," Donghi said. "I am in your debt." "Why were they chasing you?" Jaiwan asked. "And how do you speak our language?"
Donghi's expression shifted in a way that seemed to indicate seriousness.
"The Araxians were subjugated 50 years ago, just as humans were centuries before.
But we found evidence that the Concordiate fears humanity most of all. The war was a pretext. They isolated you before you could reach your potential." The room fell silent as his words sank in.
"What potential?" Jaiwan finally asked.
"That," Donghi said, "is what I came to help you discover. The precursors saw potential in your species," Donghi explained as they sat in the Phoenix's conference room. The Araxian's skin had a subtle blue tint, but otherwise, he appeared remarkably human. They left gifts for those they deemed worthy.
Jaiwan studied the ancient star charts Donghi had brought. "And you believe one such gift is hidden on our moon?"
"Not just hidden," Donghi replied, "but sealed with genetic locks that only respond to human DNA. The Concordiate couldn't access it, so they quarantined your entire species instead."
The Phoenix crew looked at each other, trying to process this information.
If true, it meant the last 300 years of isolation had been based on a lie.
"How did you discover this?"
Tejo asked, his voice skeptical. Donghi touched a small device on his wrist.
A hologram appeared above the table, showing strange symbols and diagrams.
"My people were researchers before the Concordiate conquered us. We specialized in studying the precursors, a species that lived in this galaxy millions of years ago.
They were far more advanced than any current civilization." "I've never heard of them," Minji said.
"The Concordiate erases such knowledge from conquered worlds," Donghi explained. "They don't want anyone to know there was once a greater power. Or that this power chose specific species for gifts."
Jaiwan leaned forward. "And you believe they chose humans?" "The evidence is clear," Donghi said.
"In our ancient records, we found references to Earth and a seed vault left on your moon. The Concordiate discovered this too, but they could not open it.
The vault's genetic locks would only respond to human DNA." Hyunsu shook his head. "This sounds like a trap. Why would these precursors leave us anything? Why would they care about humans?"
"The precursors believed in potential," Donghi said simply. "They saw something in your species that they wished to nurture.
Just as they saw something in mine." Back on Earth, the news of the Phoenix's battle and the arrival of an alien ally spread quickly.
World leaders gathered in an emergency session to decide how to respond.
Some wanted to surrender immediately to avoid Concordiate punishment.
Others saw this as humanity's first real chance at freedom in centuries.
"We don't have much time," Jaiwan told them via secure channel.
"The Concordiate will send a larger fleet soon. We need to find this vault, if it exists." After hours of debate, Earth's government authorized a joint expedition.
The Phoenix would take Donghi and a small team to the coordinates on the moon.
Minji, who had studied ancient Earth artifacts as a hobby, joined the exploration team.
"I never thought I'd get to study alien archaeology," she said excitedly as they approached the lunar surface.
The location Donghi had identified was in the dark side of the moon, away from the monitoring satellites. It appeared to be nothing more than an ordinary crater until they scanned beneath the surface. "There's a network of tunnels down there," Sunho reported.
Definitely not natural formation. They landed the Phoenix near the crater's edge and prepared for surface exploration.
The team wore standard lunar suits, while Dong He had his own equipment adapted for his physiology. The entrance should be under that rock formation, Dong He said, pointing to a cluster of boulders. It took their laser cutters nearly an hour to clear a path. Behind the rocks, they found a smooth tunnel leading down into darkness. The walls were unlike any lunar rock, they seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Minji led the way, her devices scanning everything. These markings are unlike anything in our historical records, she noted, running her fingers along the strange symbols etched into the rock. But they match the ones in Dong He's records. The tunnel descended for nearly a kilometer before opening into a large chamber. It appeared empty except for a simple wall at the far end.
That's it? Taeho asked, disappointment clear in his voice. Dong He moved forward. The vault is beyond that wall. According to our records, only human touch will activate it. The team approached the wall cautiously. As they got closer, a panel smoothly extended from the seemingly solid surface. What should I do? Jaiwan asked. Place your hand on it, Dong He said. If the records are correct, it will recognize your DNA.
Jaiwan removed her glove and placed her hand on the cool surface of the panel.
For a moment, nothing happened.
Then, the entire chamber hummed to life, light pouring from seams in the floor and ceiling. It recognizes you, Dong He whispered, awe in his voice. The wall before them didn't open, it dissolved, the solid material simply vanishing to reveal what lay beyond.
The team gasped collectively.
A vast chamber stretched before them, filled with objects and structures that defied understanding.
Some floated in midair, others pulsed with inner light.
At the center stood a crystalline structure as tall as a tree, glowing with a soft blue radiance.
What is all this? Jaiwan asked, stepping forward. Knowledge, Dong He replied. The complete library of precursor technology and science.
More advanced than anything the Concordiate possesses. As they moved deeper into the chamber, displays activated around them, showing images of stars, ships, and technologies beyond human imagination.
This changes everything, Jaiwan said softly. If we can understand even a fraction of this.
The crystalline structure at the center suddenly projected a figure humanoid but clearly not human, with elongated limbs and a head that seemed too large for its body. Greetings, children of Earth, it said in a voice that somehow reached them without sound.
You have finally found our legacy.
Before anyone could respond, alarms blared from their communication devices.
Hyunsu's voice came through, panicked, Commander. Multiple slip space ruptures detected.
The Concordiate fleet has arrived.
In the month that followed, Earth underwent a transformation. Using the Harbinger specifications and the precursor technology, humanity advanced centuries in weeks.
Production facilities worked day and night, creating a small but formidable fleet of vessels combining human ingenuity with alien technology. The precursor archive had contained knowledge beyond human understanding, but the crystalline structure served as a teacher, simplifying complex concepts so they could be applied quickly. What would have taken generations to develop independently was now available immediately.
Admiral Jaiwan Park, newly promoted, stood on the bridge of the reorganized Phoenix, now Earth's flagship. The ship had been rebuilt and enhanced with precursor systems. Its hull now contained the same regenerative materials as the Harbinger, and its weapons were unlike anything humans had imagined before. Beside her, Dong He monitored communications from other subjugated worlds inspired by humanity's defiance. News had spread quickly through hidden channels. Earth's rebellion had given hope to other planets under Concordiate control. The Talarians have pledged their support, he announced.
Their ships will arrive within days. The Vosharians are still deliberating.
How many ships can the Talarians provide? Jaiwan asked. 5 battlecruisers, Dong He replied. Not many, but their technology is advanced. They've been secretly developing weapons for decades. Jaiwan nodded, studying the tactical display showing the massive Concordiate armada gathering at the edge of the solar system. We're still outnumbered 20-1. Earth's new fleet consisted of 30 vessels.
Most were smaller fighters, quickly manufactured using the new technology. Only 6 were capital ships with the full range of precursor enhancements.
It would have to be enough.
Yunju, their newly appointed tactical officer, smiled confidently.
But they don't know what we've become.
The simulations show our new shields can withstand their standard weapons.
Let's hope the simulations are correct, Tejo said. He was now captain of his own vessel in the Earth Defense Fleet, the Horizon.
The past month had changed everyone. People who had once been scientists, engineers, or civilians were now military officers. Earth's entire population had united with a single purpose: survival and freedom. Sunho's voice came through the communication system.
Admiral, the last batch of fighters is ready. All 30 ships are now operational.
Good, Jaiwan replied.
Deploy them according to the defense plan.
I want 5 ships protecting each major city, the rest with us in the main battle group. On the secondary screen, Jaiwan could see the sprawling space dock that had been built in Earth orbit. A month ago, such construction would have been impossible. The Concordiate would have destroyed it immediately. Now, their new shield technology concealed it from long-range sensors.
Incoming transmission, Hyunsu announced. Concordiate command ship. Jaiwan straightened her uniform. Put it through.
The communication screen lit up with the face of a Concordiate official.
The alien's multiple eyes blinked in sequence, a sign of contempt in their culture.
Its scaled skin reflected the lights of its ship, giving it an almost metallic appearance. Humans of Earth, it said, its translator making the voice sound artificial, you have violated the terms of peace by developing unauthorized technology and consorting with other criminals. Surrender the Arisian fugitive and destroy your vessels, or face immediate pacification. The threat was clear. Pacification was Concordiate language for orbital bombardment. They had done it to other worlds before.
Jaiwan stepped forward. We know the truth now.
There was never a legitimate war, only your fear of what humanity might become.
We decline your offer.
The Concordiate official's eyes widened slightly, a sign of surprise.
You have made your choice. The Concordiate will restore order to this system. The screen went dark.
They'll attack within hours, Dongyi said quietly. That's their standard procedure. They don't like to give rebels time to prepare.
Jaiwan turned to address the bridge crew.
Send the alert to all ships and planetary defense stations.
All civilian shelters should be sealed and ready.
Despite the danger, there was a sense of purpose in the air. For 300 years, humanity had lived under the shadow of alien control. Now they would fight for their freedom. Minji entered the bridge, carrying data tablets.
Admiral, we've finished analyzing the precursor defense strategies. There's something you should see.
She displayed a tactical simulation showing how a smaller force could effectively counter a larger one by using coordinated energy fields. The precursors called it resonance warfare, she explained. If we time our shield emissions precisely, we can create destructive interference patterns in the Concordiate formation.
Can we implement this with our current technology? Jaiwan asked. Minji nodded. It's already being loaded into the fleet systems. Sunho says it will be ready before the battle begins.
Outside the viewport, Earth looked peaceful and blue. Jaiwan wondered how many times throughout history people had fought to protect this world. Now they were fighting not just for Earth, but for their right to join the wider galaxy.
Message from the Tellarian fleet, Hyunsu announced. They've accelerated their arrival.
They'll be here in 4 hours.
And the Concordiate? Jaiwan asked. Their vanguard will reach our outer defense line in 6 hours. Jaiwan turned to Dongyi. Will your people join us? The Arisian looked down. Our homeworld is too heavily guarded. But there are Arisian ships scattered throughout the galaxy. I've sent the call. Those who can will come.
Alarm signals flashed across the tactical display. The Concordiate fleet had begun to move, splitting into attack formations.
All ships, Jaiwan commanded, battle positions. As the Phoenix moved into formation with the rest of Earth's fleet, Jaiwan felt the weight of history on her shoulders. Today would decide the future of humanity, freedom or extinction. The coming storm would change everything. The void between Earth and Mars became a canvas of destruction as the two fleets engaged. The Concordiate's numerical advantage was fearsome, but Earth's vessels moved with unexpected agility, their weapons cutting through shields that had once seemed impenetrable. Earth's small fleet formed a tight defensive position. The 6 capital ships created a protective ring around the smaller vessels. From the Concordiate perspective, it looked like a desperate last stand. That was exactly what Jaiwan wanted them to think. On the Phoenix, Jaiwan watched the enemy formation spread out to surround them. The Concordiate commander was following standard tactics, trying to attack from multiple angles at once. "They're in position," Yunju reported. "All ships are maintaining formation." Jaiwan nodded. "Wait for my signal." She watched the tactical display carefully. The timing had to be perfect. The first wave of Concordiate ships opened fire. Their energy weapons streaked across space, striking Earth's defensive shields. Under normal circumstances, such an attack would have overwhelmed human defenses. But the precursor shield technology held firm. "Shields at 87%, Tejo reported from the horizon. We can take more." Jaiwan let the Concordiate press their attack. More ships joined the barrage, pouring fire into Earth's seemingly stationary fleet. All the while, the human vessels gathered energy, storing it within their specialized systems. "Energy reserves at maximum," Sunho reported. "We can't hold more." Jaiwan pressed her hand against the command console. "Deploy the resonance field now." The device activated, and a wave of energy spread across the battlefield. It was invisible to the naked eye, but on their sensors, the effect was immediate. The Concordiate ships suddenly found their advanced targeting systems failing, their communications garbled. "It's working!" Yunju exclaimed. "Their ships can't coordinate." The resonance field created by the Earth fleet disrupted the very frequencies the Concordiate used for their ship systems. Their formation began to break apart as captains lost contact with each other. "Now!" Jaiwan ordered. "All ships, attack pattern Phoenix." The Earth fleet burst into motion. No longer in a defensive posture, they split into precise attack groups, each targeting Concordiate vessels that had become isolated from their fleet. The Phoenix led the charge, its weapons slicing through the suddenly vulnerable Concordiate ships. 3 enemy vessels exploded in quick succession as the human fleet executed their carefully planned attack. "Concordiate fleet is attempting to regroup," Hyunsu reported. "They're switching to backup communication systems." Jaiwan had expected this. "Implement frequency shift. Keep them disorganized." The resonance field shifted, adapting to the new Concordiate frequencies. Once again, their coordination fell apart. "Admiral!" Donghe suddenly called out. Multiple slipspace ruptures detected. Jaiwan tensed. Had the Concordiate called for reinforcements? If so, Earth's advantage might not last long. But the ships that emerged from slipspace weren't Concordiate design. 5 sleek vessels with distinctive curved hulls appeared at the edge of the battlefield. "The Tellarians have arrived," Donghe said, relief in his voice. The Tellarian ships immediately joined the battle, their advanced weapons targeting the largest Concordiate vessels. More ruptures appeared, and additional ships entered the fray. "The Vosharians came after all," Donghe said in awe. "And they've brought the Kalari resistance with them." The tide of battle had turned completely. With their technological advantage neutralized in facing unexpected allies, the Concordiate fleet began to break apart. Some ships attempted to retreat while others fought on desperately. The Concordiate command ship, a massive vessel at the center of their formation, suddenly changed course. It accelerated directly toward Earth, weapons charging for what could only be a devastating attack on the planet itself. "They're making a run for Earth!" Minji shouted. "Intercept course!" Jaiwan ordered. The Phoenix turned sharply, accelerating to maximum speed. 3 other Earth vessels joined them,
forming a barrier between the command ship and Earth.
All power to forward shields, Jaiwan commanded as the massive enemy vessel bore down on them.
The Concordiate ship fired, its main weapon releasing a beam of energy powerful enough to tear through a small moon.
The combined shields of the 4 Earth vessels flared brilliantly as they absorbed the impact. Shields holding. Sunho reported, amazement in his voice.
The precursor technology is working.
Return fire, Jaiwan ordered. All ships, target their main weapon array.
The 4 Earth vessels fired in perfect unison, their weapons enhanced by precursor energy focusing technology. The beams converged on a single point of the Concordiate ship, piercing through its shields and striking its main weapon directly. The explosion rippled through the massive vessel, secondary systems failing in chain reaction. The command ship listed to one side, its engines flickering and dying. As the last enemy ships fled the system, cheers erupted across the human fleet. For the first time in centuries, Earth was truly free. In the days that followed, the scale of their victory became clear. The Concordiate, long thought unbeatable, had been defeated by the combined forces of species they had once subjugated. News spread quickly across the galaxy, inspiring other worlds to rise up. In the aftermath, representatives from a dozen species gathered on Earth to form a new alliance, one based on mutual respect rather than domination. The knowledge of the precursors would be shared, not hoarded. 1 month after the battle, Jaiwan stood with Donghee on a balcony overlooking the new shipyards where vessels were being constructed not for war, but for exploration.
What will you do now? Donghee asked.
Jaiwan gazed up at the stars, no longer distant and unreachable. There are other worlds still under Concordiate control. Other species waiting to be freed.
She smiled. Humanity's exile is over.
Now we take our place among the stars, not as conquerors, but as liberators. Above them, the first joint human-Araxian exploration vessel prepared for its maiden voyage, its name emblazoned on the hull in multiple languages, Phoenix Rising.
The end.